The Mariners pitching continues to be as advertised. This is the best rotation in baseball. As a pitching group, they may be the best in baseball. But we're going to focus on one guy, Logan Gilbert. I'll tell you what, for people that are picking Logan Gilbert to go from really good to Cy Young contender in 2024, like Jason Churchill did, like a couple other people did, like Hyphen did, people are doubling down after that first start because wow.
Yeah, wow is a pretty good way to describe how that first start went. He had his cutter, which is the first time I've gotten a good television look of that cutter. He had his cutter looking like a slider. That's like the kind of effectiveness he had of that pitch. And he broke it out a few times. I mean, even Blowers and Goldie in the booth were confusing it with the slider because of how much it was moving. It wasn't just your eyes tricking you. After one start, one time through the rotation that Fangraphs is able to judge all these pitchers, Logan Gilbert had the best cutter in baseball. The best. This is his first regular season game throwing that pitch, and it registered a 160 stuff plus, which is 60% better than league average. 100 is a league average movement profile for that pitch. 60% better than league average. His first time throwing it. I love that pitch. That thing is just the way he used it, because what Logan Gilbert went into, his goal with that pitch was so that he would not get hammered so much with his fastball, and in turn throw more junk, more slower stuff, pitches that move off the barrel. That's what that pitch exactly does. It's not too junky, but it's junky enough to move off the barrel and not get hit very hard. And man, especially the fact he can get strikeouts on that pitch too, was what a combination of pitches that dude has. It's pretty special. He is the best number 3 pitcher in baseball in a rotation by far. It's probably not close. Is there another one close? Number 3.
I was even just trying to play out the scenarios in my head. If everybody's healthy in Houston, you have Verlander, Framber, like Christian Javier versus Logan Gilbert. Javier's had some good years. I think I'm taking Logan Gilbert.
I am too.
Like you can go to, I don't know,
Dodgers.
Toronto. I was gonna say Toronto maybe. Like so you have You have Gosman. You have. Oh, I'm already blanking. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe not Toronto. I mean, I was going to say like Bassett. Bassett's more the 3 there, I would say. So I'd take Logan Gilbert over Chris Bassett. Yeah, the Dodgers, Yamamoto, Glasnow, and then
I was like Bobby Miller, Tyler Glasnow, Walker Buehler, like Bobby Miller's. He looked pretty good his first start. I'm not going to lie. Logan right now probably has a slight edge on him. Not saying that's a forever pick, but right now, yeah.
Well, yeah, and Bobby Miller hasn't had the track record Logan Gilbert has. Now, you can argue when Walker Buehler comes back, there's a chance, but Walker Buehler hasn't pitched a full season in a while. It's been well over a year since he's pitched a full season. So he's going to take some time to have to dial it back in and everything. So for right now, I think it has to be Logan Gilbert. Who's I don't know, Max Fried, Spencer Strider. Yeah, the Braves don't really have a true 3 behind those guys that's like Logan Gilbert. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see how it can't be Logan Gilbert. I know we're jumping way ahead here, but if the Mariners make the playoffs in the last decade, has there even been a top 3 like this? If Logan Gilbert continues to pitch like this,
Mets.
Are you thinking
in 15?
DeGrom, Harvey, Syndergaard?
Yeah, DeGrom, Harvey, Syndergaard. That was a pretty lethal trio. Let's see what else. The Nats had a good 2. The Astros in 19 were pretty good.
That's a good call. Yeah, JV, Greinke, Garrett Cole. Okay, yeah. So maybe those guys.
That was a pretty loaded unit.
Point being, it's not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If the Mariners get into the playoffs this year and ride these 3 guys, Luis, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, they can go a long way. A very, very long way. The Diamondbacks got to the World Series. That rotation was nowhere close to what this rotation is. So, yeah, we're jumping way ahead here, but Logan Gilbert looks unbelievably impressive through one start. And I'll say this, too. We're talking about the cutter, which he did not give up a hit on in his first start. You talked about it was by stuff the best cutter in baseball already. That wasn't even his primary strikeout pitch in his first outing. Now, he wasn't throwing it as much as some other pitches, but half his strikeouts came on the splitter. So we know at times we know he has a great fastball. We know last year he possessed a great slider. The splitter's getting results. The cutter's now getting results. Look out. Like this is a ridiculous arsenal this dude has.
And so we just tallied his best stuff plus pitch, his best strikeout pitch, and I thought his most effective pitch was neither of those two in his first start. I thought it was his slider. He threw his slider a ton, and he was even leaving it over the plate too, and they couldn't really hit it that much. He's probably not going to want to do that too much. Logan's command is not perfect. He's not George Kirby. He's not just going to dot up the corners because that's not the kind of pitch he was. But I thought about it this way because he had a problem early on his career. He would leave like 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, middle. Well, he didn't throw very many middle fastballs. The pitches he left middle were cutters and sliders, pitches that moved, pitches that were harder to barrel up. And it was effective. Like most of his fastballs ended up on the inside corner to righties, outside corner to lefties. That's primarily where his fastballs ended up. But his cutter and his slider leaked out over the plate a little bit. But since those pitches move so much, it's a lot harder to hit those pitches, and it gives you more room for error. I mean, is that not all you could ask for? All Logan Gilbert especially can ask for is to have the pitches move so much that even though his command's not perfect, it still works out for him in a positive manner. So, like, there's just so many good things to like. I mean, we're talking 3+ off speeds from him.
Yeah. And I'm not shocked his slider looked that great. That was his best pitch last year. So it's carrying over to 2024. There's already a million reasons to be excited about the Mariners rotation, but seeing Logan Gilbert do what he did in his first start, yeah, that was pretty awesome. I do want to give a couple extra shout outs before we wrap up this segment too. You don't need to hear from us that George Kirby looked awesome because George Kirby did what George Kirby always does, aside from walking 2 guys in the first inning. Like, chalk up that scorecard and put it right in the Baseball Hall of Fame. You may never see him do that again.
Yeah. But then after that, it was no one reached second after that.
Right.
So it was like, as the shirt says, like, what were the exact words on that shirt?
Yeah. Angry George's Dreamland.
Yeah. The Red Sox stepped into his dreamland and got stomped.
Yeah. He was dominant. And final one before we wrap this segment up. Gabe Speier looked so fucking good so far. Our guy, he
little
is
unit, baby,
legitimately lethal.
Little unit. He's been leaned on these first 5 games. It doesn't matter. This dude mixes the perfect combination of stuff and command out of the bullpen and from the left side. How do you hit it? Oh, by the way, so we were talking about this earlier. I just want to bring this up now that you brought him up. So we had our perfect box that we put Speier in, right, where I called him the unicorn. 29% strikeout rate or higher, 5.5 walk rate or lower, 55% or higher ground ball rate over 50 innings pitched. And I think I had said that, there's no one else that had done that. And I was sitting here thinking, actually, Kershaw has not done that. I actually went and looked, even though I did the stack. I did the search on Fangraphs. I had to go double check. No, like, Kershaw has never done that.
Yeah.
Clayton Kershaw, slam dunk Hall of Famer, one of the 3 best lefties of all time, maybe the best, depending on who you ask. Left-handed pitchers of all time. He's never done that.
No.
In his strikeout era, as someone who doesn't walk anyone, he never hit all those benchmarks in a single season. He didn't do that. And I was thinking, okay, who's another all-time great lefty? Oh, Sandy Koufax. He had one season where it was close. He had a 29% strikeout rate, 5.5% walk rate on the dot, and he did that, unlike Gabe Speier, did it in 330 innings. So a little bit more volume than Gabe, but they didn't have ground ball rate back then, so I can't confirm that. Like, this is the kind of company we're talking about that Gabe Speier is in.
And he has entered 2024 looking even better than he's looked in 2023. So, like, if that's even possible, because again, he had such a good year last year, but he's taken another step forward, at least in the first few outings he's had this year, where, he's just mowing guys right down.
Yeah, it is not fair. I mean, teams don't really have a high leverage lefty in the bullpen almost ever, unless your name is Aroldis Chapman. Like, you do not have a high level, not anymore with Aroldis Chapman, but in the past, a high leverage lefty with like that. And Speier he's unbelievable.